Alright everybody, back on the way again with the usual delays. It's still only taken me an hour and 45 minutes to get here, so it's not too bad I suppose. No rain in the forecast, but it's raining, so yeah, poncho's going on. I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to get today. The sun is trying to shine over there, so I might be lucky. I'm currently standing in the bus stop so I can talk to you because it's windy out there. You're not going to hear a damn thing otherwise. So there may be a lot of music today and not a whole lot of talking. I'm sure you can live with that. After all, it's about showing you the way, isn't it? Alright, let's get back onto the Mauerweg. Alright, didn't take long, 5 minutes off the road and onto the sideways. Just check I'm on the right one, but I'm 90% sure I am. So this route that we're looking at along there was one of the very few transit routes from West or through East Berlin. So if you wanted to go from West Berlin through to the rest of Western Germany, you went through here. Everything's gone pretty much. Apparently there's an old building around here that belongs to it, but I don't see it. Don't know which it is. It's all been painted and signs have been removed and everything according to the placard over there. But yeah, everyone was entitled, so long as you had the relevant permit, to transit this, even on a bicycle. You just weren't allowed to overnight, so you're allowed to come along this way. They closed it in 1988 after 20 odd years, and then lo and behold, 2 years later the wall fell. Oh boy, did I stuff up good today. I didn't bother keying anything into my map. I basically jumped out at the bus stop, had a look at where I was and thought, oh yeah, go that way. I stuffed up. I had forgotten that when I stopped, I actually ended up going backwards a little bit to get onto a bus. And so I've been going the wrong way for the last 2 kilometers. It wasn't until I found this, which is the Gallagher fencing stuff that I saw yesterday, well, last time I was on this trail. And I thought, wow, that's just the same. And then I thought, oh shit. So I've just walked 2 kilometers in completely the wrong direction. Oops. Well, I guess I'm adding 4Ks to the day, right? I'll walk back to the start and we'll start again. Okay, purely because it's the only windless place around here, I'm back in the bus stop where I started off. So it is a little over 2 kilometers and about 25 minutes later. I'm turning around and I'm going the way that I'm now facing. I know how I made the mistake I did. I ended up going backwards to a different bus stop. I didn't get on here, and that's how we ended up facing the wrong way. It kind of looked a bit similar, but I've been in this area before, so half of what I see looks a little bit similar. It is what it is, right? Thank goodness it was only 2 kilometers before I realized my mistake. Oh, let's go for a walk. Nice to be back into the quieter residential streets. I can't imagine what it was like here, having the wall running through. God, just imagine from one day to the next, you can't see your neighbours anymore, can't visit them, etc. Alrighty, it's raining, so it's not the best time to show you this, but this is marking the end of the wall basically. It marks the reopening of this stretch right here. to both sides, or more importantly to the East Berliners. Somebody had a fantastic idea for a massive New Year's party, well, for a New Year's party, 100,000 people. That's not bad. So yeah, it was, what do they call it? The Bridge of Sympathy. And it was designed as a thank you and as a welcome and so on. There's a whole lot of information along here about the victims, about people flying, disconnection of the S-Bahn, etc. If you ever get out here, it is well worth stopping and taking your time to read it. I've read through it all in spite of the rain, and I'm moving on. So this is officially closed off, but I've just asked the digger driver and he's allowed me to continue along. Much appreciated, because I'd have had to find a workaround otherwise. I hope his companions at the other end are as understanding. I guess we'll find out. There's another truck, another digger. In fact, there's the whole on work site. Oh well, we'll see how we go, eh? Looks like I better get off the road. Oh, just before I get to the end, it goes off to the side anyway, so that's all good. Last time I came to something like that, they were not as understanding, shall we say. But it is what it is. The guys have got work to do. Not their fault that they need to work at the time I want to walk. I don't know if you can see that over there. I guess I'll find out when I download this. There's a little bit of blue sky. As silly as it may seem, those tiny little pockets of blue sky are the first I've seen in an entire week. Ah, please, get bigger, let's see the sun. So in direct contrast with the last time I was out, I haven't come across a single place to sit today. No benches or anything along the way. I guess I'm in somebody else's jurisdiction. It's what it's like with the town halls and so on around here. A shame, but there it is. I have, however, found this couple of logs nicely stacked up. So my jacket's off. My long sleeve is back on. Good old bubble wrappers out to keep my butt dry. Yes, I could sit on my poncho, but that just damages it long term. Time for a spot of lunch. Just occasionally, Mother Nature sends us something beautiful. This tree's been growing longer than I've been alive, that's for sure. You gotta love it. Wish I could see it in summer, spring, with all its leaves. Still, sun's come out just to show me. Isn't that nice? A little sunlight puts a whole different perspective on the world, doesn't it? There's a little enclave, or exclave as it was, called Ice Cellar. Literally ice cellar. There were 3 families that used to farm this area. So this area belonged to West Berlin, but the area on either side belonged to East Berlin. Crazy way that people drew up the maps in those days. It was what it was. Anyway, the only way to and fro was on the road that I'm on now. 4 metre wide strip. going through from where those people lived back to West Berlin. Well, of course, kids had to go to school along this. And one day, one of the boys didn't turn up. And he said that he'd been held by an East German border guard. So, naturally, the British got a little bit uppity about it, a little upset. Well, everybody did. And they put a patrol on this road. And they used to escort the children to and fro from school with an armoured car. They had 30 soldiers stationed out here. It was decades later before the boy confessed that actually he'd just been wagging. He'd been skipping school. It was just an excuse. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The things that children do, eh? Well, I don't think much of this section. It's too narrow for two cars as it is, and they expect us to walk along here as well. I mean, it's only for a short distance, but still. Screw this. I'm going to go through the woods. There's got to be another way. It's just ridiculous. That is not safe. On one hand, the leaves on top of the tarmac is kind of nice, tiny bit of cushioning. On the other hand, they're wet. Decaying wet leaves on tarmac, it's a little bit slippery at times. Still, I've had worse. I'm not the only one out today. It's the fifth. So that's the fifth horse and rider I've seen out. Most of them just in this last little bit here. There's obviously a nice way for the horses on the side. And I've also seen an entire herd of deer. There must have been a dozen of them, if not actually more. I don't recall seeing that big a group before. Normally they're in like 5s and 6s. So a dozen or more is quite something. Wasn't near enough to take a photo. I don't carry one of those big ass expensive cameras. I don't own a big ass expensive camera. My fitness levels are not where they should be. Certainly not where they were, even just 6 or 8 weeks ago. Been a bit slack over the last month. I'm paying for it now. Mind you, that detour of that extra 4Ks didn't help much. Today is a Snickers day. I need the sweetness and so on. Technically unnecessary. I've got an energy bar and I've got dried fruit and all these things, but I want the feel-good factor too. I'll see you further along the trail. Okay, so I'm running out of daylight. Got about half an hour, 40 minutes left. Not quite sure what I'm going to do. I do have my head torch with me, but quite frankly, that extra 4Ks that I did earlier on, not the best. I come out of the woods back onto the street fairly soon, and there's a bus stop pretty much right there. I could go along until it's literally dark, go backwards a bus stop or two. Less to walk next time, right? It's kind of thrown my plans out, this extra detour that I took, because I'd hoped to get to Henningsdorf today. Well, I should have easily gotten to Henningsdorf today, but whole point of this is to enjoy it. And if I can't see what I'm walking through, I'm not really sure that there's any point to it. I'll see how I go. You'll know soon, won't you? Well, that's about the end of this piece. Well, it's the end of the peaceful bit through the woods. I've just realised where I am. I've been here before. I've already walked this section of the Mauerweg, the Berlin Wall. Not unusual. I occasionally join a small hiking group. They meet up once a month. They're predominantly church-based, but they're kind enough to let me join in. Nice bunch of people. A couple of them have actually done not just a Camino, multiple Caminos.